Hanover Wildcats Coach's Corner, a service of Hanover Electric, Blue Valley Technologies, Inline Construction, the Blue Valley Insurance Agency, Citizen State Banks, Handy's Hardware and Lumber, Midwest Products, and Bremen Farmers Mutual Insurance.
See Andy Bruna at Andy's Hardware and Lumber in Hanover for a full line of your everyday hardware needs and all the building supplies you'll need to get the job done right. Just about anything you might need around the farm or home is found at Andy's, and always fast, friendly service when you need it. It just makes good sense to shop at Andy's Hardware and Lumber in Hanover, Kansas, a proud Wildcat booster. That's Andy's Hardware and Lumber in Hanover.
Ag Storage can improve your farming operation. When you're planning, from building and grain bin pads to commercial approach and drives, call for a quote from Inline Construction in Marysville today. For all types concrete work, phone 785-562-5525.
The variety of our checking plans exceeds your grandfather's dreams. We have checking plans for kids, checking for college students, checking for small businesses, and checking for seniors only. We have checking plans that pay interest. By checking with us, you have quality choices to add to your portfolio and financial planning. Citizen State Bank of Marysville, Waterville, and Hanover. Quality banking since 1907. Member FDIC.
Bremen Farmers Mutual Insurance, providing high-quality coverage and service, all at a competitive premium cost. Since 1888, Bremen Farmers Mutual has offered homeowner, farm owner, business owner, fire, and inland marine coverage. Dependable and affordable. See your local agent representing Bremen Farmers Mutual Insurance. Learn more about the various insurance products offered by going online at bfmic.com.
Welcome into the Hanover Wildcats Coaches Corner program, joined today with girls basketball head coach Chris Beichman. Coach, talk about Tuesday's game a little bit. You guys were able to come out with a victory over Lynn in that one. It was nip and tuck for most of that contest, but how do you feel the girls, responded to some of those runs that Lynn went on?
I thought our girls did a great job. Of course, you got two great teams, well coached on both ends. You're going to have some feeling out process. I thought the first 3 minutes of that game were a little bit sluggish for both teams. They're trying to figure out what both teams were doing. And after that, I thought the scoring, I think it was 3 minutes in, or maybe it was 2.5 minutes in, the first basket didn't happen. And then from that point on, I think everything kind of opened up. And it got a little chippy at times in the game last night, but I think our girls and Lynn's girls did a good job of staying in their game plans. We knew they were going to be physical and try to get in the pocket of our guards and force tough passes. And our guards in the first half, it took a little while to, adjust to that pressure. We haven't seen true man-to-man pressure like that all year yet, and Lynn did a good job of forcing some turnovers early. And just like any sport you play, halftime adjustments are huge. We had 9 turnovers at half, and then I think at the end of the game we had 13. So, you cut those in half and get more looks. It always helps out. And then with our size compared to Lynn, it was a lot of just get that ball up on the rim and see if we can get some second chances. And from the first half to the second half, I think we finally wore them down, whether that was getting them in foul trouble or just physically wore them down inside and got some second chances. We didn't hit them always, but we got to the free throw line and kept getting them in foul trouble. I wish shooting at home, we shoot a lot of free throws in practice. I wish we were a little better free throw shooting team, but that's a lot to do with just getting up the line, being confident. And in a game where you only shoot 50% on the free throw line and you miss as many layups as we did, to come out with the win, and I know they were a little short-handed, thank God, because if they weren't, I don't know if we do, to come out of there with a win against a state-ranked team like Lynn, knowing they're probably one of maybe 3, probably 2 matchups with the league tournament and sub-state or state, coming up, we have to show our best hand, and going forward, we know that competition next week in the TVL tournament is just going to keep getting tougher. So it was a good stepping stone for that, and then we get a chance to work on ourselves going into that tournament.
And you used a word in there, competition, and we were chatting off air. Obviously, you've played Lynn, you had Quinter last week, even going back to early in the season, Thayer Central, Nemaha Central, and Troy. To prepare your team for the rest of this year and what's going to be a tough TVL and then hopefully another deep state run, how important is it to see the team react positively in those games where, they are nip and tuck for most of it?
it's great competition, and early in my career, we were probably playing a little, softer schedule because you wanted to get those wins. You wanted a great seeding, for the sub-state and the state because it's all based on your win percentage. And the more you get going and the more you realize, well, to win that league, you got to play competition before you get there. You walk into your league games and that's the hardest game you play. It probably might be the first loss, or, it compounds itself to multiple losses with how tough our league is and how your schedule lines up. So getting those early games against non-conference tough teams, and I don't even think we had the toughest non-con in our league. I think everybody's starting to figure that out. It's just you got to play those teams that are going to represent the Centralias, the Valley Heights, the D-West, the Linns, Axtels, Blue Valleys. I mean, the list goes on and on. You got to go play some teams that are going to represent the same thing you'll see in the league every day. And I thought we did a good job of that. We did have an easier win against Dillardell, but I think they're in a transition year, and I think we caught them at the right time. And every one of our league games we've learned something from. Even if we got a big lead, we had learning moments in those games. So I think it all builds up to this. Now, we don't want to be playing our best basketball now, but it always is good to beat good teams at this time of the year. Get a little confidence before we really make that big stretch. It's the 10th game of the year last night, and hopefully we have 16 more. So we keep wanting to get better, but it's always great to beat good teams this time of the year.
And I think you mentioned it there. I caught Trevor Kuhlman before the game too, and it's no slight to either side, but he said, win or lose, this is going to be a good opportunity for both teams to see what they are made of here before getting ready for the TVL tournament. And when you look at your offense this year, especially Tuesday night, you have 6 girls that scored over 6 points, and obviously Drew Bruna's a big part of the offense down low, but just the balance you have last year after losing Anna to graduation, how nice is that to see multiple girls have the ability to step up and put the ball in the hole?
It's awesome, and of course, you lose a girl like Anna, who had the ball a lot in her hands. You're going to need girls to step up. Drew Bruna this year scoring the ball inside out. I wish she would look to shoot a little more out. She's got a great outside shot, but she's so good at getting in and getting the angles that she wants inside. She's a little more patient than the outside. So if she would start looking a little more outside, I'd be happy, but she's still averaging in that 12 to 14 range. And one thing that we do a really good job this year is we got 3 posts who are, I don't want to say mismatches every night, but one of them should be, because there's always 2 of them out there, and we do a good job of finding that mismatch. And I think in the last 5 games, our 3 posts have combined for 30 or more points in every one of those games. The crazy thing is, and I know we are a good 3-point shooting team. I've seen us go on runs. It's just we got to get those open ones to knock down in the games and maybe have a little confidence, see that ball go through, and then look out. Because right now our shooting percentage is bad from the outside, and we're getting good offensive putbacks because that's what we are taught to do. But if we start hitting some of those outside shots, and you have to respect us a little more out there, it's going to open up more for our posts. And when that happens, I think we hit our full potential.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up earlier. Only 2 made threes versus Lynn, all in the first half, but still able to pound it inside and use, like you said, that 3-headed monster. And last one here for you before I let you go, Chris, but you mentioned TVL tournament coming up next week, and then, moving on prior. Is there another area that you kind of want this team to take a step at before we, get into this late January, February schedule and then sub-state?
Keep trying to find our roles, You brought up Anna last year, and when she was in there, we all had our role, and we've been fortunate not to have the injury bug or any sickness, so everybody's been at practice. We've had the unfortunate of having some deaths in the community that have really hurt us. So we've had some girls gone because of those, but we get everybody in practice. Keep buying in. This isn't a sprint; it's a marathon. We want to have our best games coming forward. The league tournament next week is going to be a gauntlet, but only one team comes out of that thing 3-0. Mm-hmm. There's multiple ways to go 2-1, and there's multiple ways to go 1-2. Come out of there with a winning record and have something to still chip on your shoulder coming out of that, whether you win it all or you get to those Final Four and you play those tough teams. It's only going to propel you for that last run before sub-state and state. So, if we can keep getting better, chip away. And like I said, sometimes it's just the easy things. I can yell, go make shots, but we got to do it. So in practice, getting those game-like shots up, getting a little more confidence in our free throws. I mean, I say we're a good shooting team, but our free throws this year are around the 50% mark. We kind of hover. There'll be a game where we go 70, 80%, and then you'll have a game where we shoot 30. Just consistency, and it's high school sports. So, until we get that confidence where we want it, it's always going to be a work in progress.
Oh, I agree. I think it's going to be, like you said, a marathon instead of a sprint. And I think you of everyone knows that more, of course, with late season runs that you guys have had here of recently. Again, talking with Chris Beichman, head coach of the Hanover girls basketball team. Chris, I appreciate your time this week. We'll look forward to seeing you over in Washington for the TVL tournament.
Well, Max, it was good to catch up with you, and I look forward to seeing you over in Washington.
Not everyone can become a Lennox dealer, so you'll be glad to know when you buy a Lennox from Hanover Electric Incorporated, you not only get the best products in the business, you also get a traditional experience in making sure your home is as comfortable as it can be. Because every independent Lennox dealer must pass the Lennox Quality Dealer Standards Program, the toughest test in the industry, and what it means is you get a dealer you could always count on. Lennox, one less thing to worry about.
From the ground up, Midwest Products Hanover can assist with concrete drives, parking, walks, entries, foundations, and support walls. Quality people help produce quality products, and you can rely on their crews for a job done right. Concrete plants at Hanover, Washington, and Clay Center. Midwest Products also haul rock, sand, and gravel. They have a crane for rent and can assist with site preparation. Start your next job with a call for a quote today from Midwest Products at Hanover.
In your bustling lives, we're constantly on the move from hectic commutes to family outings. Blue Valley Insurance offers comprehensive auto coverage to keep you safe on every journey. Whether you're heading to work or driving your kids to practice, we've got you covered. Visit us at convenient locations in Lynn, Greenleaf, Hanover, or Marysville for personalized auto insurance solutions tailored to your needs. Drive with peace of mind knowing you're protected by Blue Valley Insurance.
This new year, you deserve better. Better internet, better speeds, and better service from a company that gives back to your community. Sign up for Blue Valley Technologies fiber internet and get 3 months free. Already a customer? Try a faster speed for 3 months at no extra cost. For more details, visit us at bluevalley.net or call 877-876-1228. Happy New Year.
Hanover Wildcats Coach's Corner, a service of Hanover Electric, Blue Valley Technologies, Inline Construction, the Blue Valley Insurance Agency, Citizen State Banks, Andy's Hardware and Lumber, Midwest Products, and Bremen Farmers Mutual Insurance.